Hey volunteers, if you've made it this far, you're in the back area of the Writing Center, which we're basically using as the storage area for the fallout shelter. So what you'll see back here are a bunch of tables and boxes and things like that stacked on top of them, sort of like this. You can see sort of towels, boxes, plastic coming out, there'll be canned goods. We're going to be using all that kind of stuff as props. Okay, so think of a fallout shelter, and anything that is sort of appropriate storage, it's going to be back here. This time we're also building from tables up for the way we're going to block stuff off. Normally we hang bags in rows and they use those, but this year we're going to be stacking the boxes on top. So the visitors won't be able to see between rows. In other words, the boxes on top of the tables will act as walls. So if you see everywhere where I've got a chair is basically where a table is going to be. Okay? The cool thing about this is if you are a paranormal or you are a person in black working in the back area, this means you've got lots of nooks and crannies that you can hide in, okay? So if you imagine some of these as chairs, some of these as tables, the paranormals can sneak out at the visitors from down by their feet, okay? If you're in this area as a paranormal, you're basically going to be in maybe stage 2 of radiation poisoning, okay? So that basically means you're going to be coughing, you're going to be scratching, you're going to have blisters and sores from the radiation poisoning, and you're also going to be sort of delirious, okay? People start to sort of get a little bit crazy at this point. It makes them apparently super paranoid, and one of the things that we're going to try to do is create this effect between the paranormals. So one of the things that the paranormals can do, if you sort of start seeing where they might be, one of the things that you guys can do is sort of fight over supplies. If you imagine supplies are tight, the paranormals may be digging through the boxes. They're going to be essentially acting frantic, okay? So back here, the paranormals, you're not necessarily going to be aggressive. Instead, you're just going to be panicked, sort of delusional, wandering around, sort of hoarding the cans and things like that. And this time, you'll actually start to go ahead and interact with the visitors. The visitors will fully see the paranormals in this area. You're going to be walking around, crawling under tables. So you've got to be willing to take on a pretty active physical role, okay? One of the other things you can do is in these little places between rows, as paranormals, kind of like last year with the butcher shop, you can sort of work with somebody else to build a little bit of a scenario for your area. So in this row, for instance, these are going to be stacked with boxes. If the visitors are going this way, you might see a paranormal like directly up in front of you, which may make you want to go back. Of course, the rows are going to be extremely narrow. And if paranormals are in front of you and behind you in the rows, you're going to start freaking out if you're a visitor. One of the other cool things, here's where we come to the people in black. The people in black are not going to be seen, right? I'm going to be one of those. What that will help us do also is create some weird sound effects and moving objects. So people in black may be under the tables and they may just like shove a box off the end of a corner. The boxes will be empty, they're not going to hit anybody or anything like that, but they will make a very weird sound. So one of those things is we can sort of be under the tables and even be sort of giving the paranormals props and things like that. So there's going to be a lot of sort of moving, shifting space, and we need paranormals and people in black for this area. Okay? One of the other things that you want to just sort of make sure that you're aware of back here is there's going to be a ceiling hanging from, see where these black marks right there? This is where we're going to be hanging these black, basically tablecloths. They're going to act as a faux ceiling, which means everything is going to be sort of shoved down, okay? Everything's going to be sort of compact. So you're probably going to be crawling on the floor, underneath things. You've got to be sort of physical, but you've also got to be aware that the ceiling is going to be on top of you, and it's pretty flimsy. So you're going to want to watch for areas that come down, and you can easily repair them. There's just going to be wires hanging, and the plastic will be draped over them. But you're going to want to keep an eye on that kind of stuff, and always remember, fog, 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 fog everywhere this year. If you're going to be back here, there's a faux ceiling. It's going to be down, you're going to be on the ground, and there's going to be so much fog, you got to think about that. It's literally going to be foggy in a very compact space for a long time. So I suggest that when you guys start getting together to decide on the back area, that you spend a little time with the fog machines. Make sure that you can breathe okay in it. Make sure it doesn't give you serious headaches and stuff like that, because it's going to be a really tight enclosed area. And this back area of the writing center is going to be super, super cool. Lots of makeup and intensity before you go to the front area of the writing center. Thanks, guys.